Yoane Wissa finds himself at the center of a storm that Brentford supporters did not expect so early into Keith Andrews' tenure as head coach. The Congolese striker, who became one of the club's most reliable attacking weapons last season, is now pushing for a move to Newcastle United, and the speculation is refusing to die down. As the rumors intensify, Andrews has dropped a major hint about the forward's immediate future, suggesting that Wissa could still play for the Bees this weekend, despite the ongoing uncertainty. That revolution alone has thrown a fresh twist into what has become one of the Premier League's early transfer sagas. The story gathered momentum when Newcastle United made not one but two bids for Wissa, both of which were swiftly rejected by Brentford. The Tyneside club are keen to reinforce their attack before the end of the summer window, and Wissa fits the bill for Eddie Howe, who is looking for dynamism and goals from the flanks as well as centrally. Yet Brentford, still adapting to life after losing Ivan Toney for large parts of last season and now preparing for a new era under Andrews, are reluctant sellers. The striker's importance to the team has only grown in recent months, and while the player's desire to leave is becoming clearer, Brentford remain firm that they will not be pressured into a cut-price deal. Wissa's absence from the squad in the 3-1 defeat to Nottingham Forest on the opening weekend sparked immediate speculation about whether his head had been turned. Brentford fans were quick to connect the dots, and the fact that Igor Thiago was chosen to lead the line only added to the intrigue. Thiago did his job, scoring from the penalty spot to briefly give the Bees hope, but the sight of Wissa watching from the sidelines left questions hanging in the air. Was this tactical? Was it disciplinary? Or was it simply Brentford preparing for life without one of their stars? Andrews, who only took charge of the club at the start of the campaign, addressed the issue with a mix of honesty and humor. He admitted Wissa has been training with the team all week, stressing that the decision about his involvement against Aston Villa would be made just before the match. It was a carefully balanced message, offering reassurance that Wissa remains a Brentford player for now, while keeping the door open for a possible exit should Newcastle return with a third bid. That delicate management of words highlights the situation Andrews has walked into, balancing the ambition of one of his top forwards with the needs of the squad and the expectations of the supporters. The manager went even further when joking about the striker's debt to him. "He owes me, really, so he shouldn't be going anywhere," Andrews quipped in an interview, pointing out that 7 of Wissa's 19 goals last season came directly from set-piece routines he had worked on. That tongue-in-cheek remark carried a serious undertone. Andrews has invested time and effort into Wissa's development, and losing him now would be both a tactical and emotional blow. It was also a reminder of the chemistry between coach and player, something Brentford would be reluctant to disrupt, unless forced by circumstances beyond their control. From Newcastle's perspective, Wissa represents an ideal target. He is Premier League proven, versatile, and approaching the peak years of his career. With Callum Wilson's future uncertain due to injuries and Alexander Isak shouldering the burden of leading the line, Howe is eager to add depth and firepower. Wissa's ability to play through the middle or out wide makes him a particularly attractive proposition, especially for a side competing on multiple fronts this season. The Magpies' ambitions extend beyond the league, with European football once again on their calendar, and the need for a larger, more reliable squad is pressing. However, Brentford are not a club known for folding under pressure. Their transfer policy has been one of the most admired in English football, built on data-driven recruitment and an unyielding stance on selling players. If Wissa does leave, it will be for a price that reflects his value and the difficulty of replacing him. The Bees know that forwards who can score nearly 20 goals in a season, while also contributing tactically in pressing and link-up play, are rare commodities. Letting him go on the cheap would run counter to everything the club stands for. For the fans, the saga is a mixture of frustration and unease. Wissa is not just any player. He is a symbol of Brentford's progress in the Premier League, a forward who embraced the challenge and delivered when others faltered. His goals and energy turned matches, and his understanding with Brian Biembo and Jean Baptiste created attacking patterns that unsettled even the strongest defenses. To see him agitating for a move now feels like a betrayal to some supporters, even if the lure of St. James's Park and Champions League football is understandable. The timing also adds to the tension. Brentford face Aston Villa this weekend in what promises to be a stern test, followed by a tricky Carabao Cup tie against Bournemouth. These are fixtures in which Wissa's presence could make the difference, yet his availability is now in doubt. If Andrews chooses to include him, will his focus be sharp enough? If he leaves him out again, does it risk weakening the team further? These are the kinds of dilemmas that define early season narratives and can shape a manager's authority in the dressing room. What complicates matters further is the broader context of Brentford's ambitions. This is a club that has thrived by punching above its weight, but it also knows the dangers of losing too many key players in quick succession. Thomas Frank's departure as manager already marked the start of a new chapter, and losing Wissa on top of that could destabilize the balance Andrews is trying to create. The board will have to weigh short-term disruption against long-term planning, deciding whether keeping an unhappy player serves the club better than cashing in and reinvesting. Newcastle's persistence suggests they will not walk away easily. Howe has made it clear that he wants reinforcements, and Wissa's name remains at the top of the list. Should a third bid arrive, it will test Brentford's resolve like never before. Supporters, meanwhile, will be watching closely to see whether their club holds firm or bows to the pressure of a richer, more ambitious rival. For now, though, Andrews' words leave the door open to a surprising twist. Wissa could yet feature for Brentford this weekend, sending a signal that, despite his ambitions, he is still part of the project in West London. It would also give Andrews the chance to show that he can manage one of the toughest situations in football, keeping a wantaway star motivated while the transfer market swirls. If Wissa scores against Villa, the headlines could suddenly shift from speculation to redemption. If he does not play, the noise will only grow louder. What is certain is that this saga has all the hallmarks of a story that will define the early weeks of Brentford's season. Andrews, still only finding his feet in Premier League management, is already being tested on multiple fronts. The transfer window is still open, Newcastle are circling, and Wissa himself must decide whether his future lies in London or the Northeast. Until then, the Bees and their fans remain in limbo, hoping that whatever happens, their club emerges stronger from the turbulence. Thanks for watching this Football Focus video, and please subscribe our Football Focus YouTube channel for more update news.